Okay, in this video, we're going to take a look at what some of these panels do and what they are good for. Why is this better than a paper report? Why bother, basically? You're going to see why this even exists. So we're going to start first by looking at this one here, this 12-month income analysis. And what we can see here is this basically looks like it's a conglomeration of income reports with just the basic columns of income, cost of goods sold, expense, other income, other expense, etc. And here are the numbers that we have for a 12-month period. And that's you know, okay, that's good. We can see that. We can see the numbers. That's handy. But this is live data. And live data means we can do things like this. If I click anywhere on this, I will go to the full 12-month income analysis report. Notice it opens in a second tab so that we can always go back to our dashboard if we want. Now this looks a lot like the other one we saw, except slightly bigger. And then we have this. Here we can see that this is 12 accounting periods ending with period March in this case. We can choose which of those 12 periods we want, going back all the way to the beginning of time. Okay, we're going to stick with the one we've got. We can choose it by only one branch. Right now, all branches are selected. We can choose it only by category. So yes, with this tool, you can actually look at an income statement for a particular branch. You can look at an income statement just for installation. Okay. Once you have made any changes or choices here, you're going to hit the refresh button. Because this is a web page and not a live form, you want to set all your options and then hit refresh just to cut down on the amount of traffic that goes flying back and forth. But still you're saying, okay, that's good, but it's minimal numbers. But let's start by looking at, here's August, okay. Let's take a closer look at August. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on August, and we're going to see something that looks very much like an income statement. Again, still has our choices up here, what we're working off of, and the date. And we can see here income, cost of goods, etc. Except now we can see the full amounts of the account, of the GL accounts. And we can take a look and we begin to analyze things because this is an analysis tool. This is not meant to replace the printed income statement report. Okay, this is an analysis tool. This is for you to find out why something is on your income statement the way it is. Where did that come from? What does that mean? So for in this case, we're going to look at this $65 lease recurring charge right there. I just picked it because it's little. And we're going to click on the account, and we want to see, this will show us the account register for this account over the period that we're looking at, every transaction. And we can look down in here and we can say, oh, these are all pretty much the same. Here's the amounts up over and over and over and over again. And here is the account balance that we get from this. And we can say right here, something changed. Okay. So let's look at that transaction. Now, these are posted in that 1 month, but notice they have different dates here. So this is probably some kind of deferred income or something. So anyway, right here there was a change. We want to look at that particular transaction. We click on that, and we see the exact registry entry that created that. And we can see monitoring retail, yeah, oh yeah, here we go. Deferred income, deferred income, deferred income, deferred income. And we can see each of the accounts and the offsetting. And we were looking at, what was it? One of these. I forget which one. I think the 110 account. We can get back to that account by clicking on this. It'll take us back to the account. But if we wanted to say, okay, this is one side of it, I want to see this side now, you do not have to return to the same register you came from. So if I click on here, it'll take me back to a register, but it takes me back to the other register, the other side, the other account, the other side of that journal entry. This is the power of SedonaDashboard. the ability to drill down and find answers. Okay, and when we're done playing with all this, we can just close it. And we're back to our dashboard. Okay, the next one we're going to look at here is one of my favorites. It's one of the first ones I built. And this is the RMR trending chart. Okay, so we can see here a quick snapshot of RMR. All right, the blue line that we see here is the RMR by month for basically a year. The green bars are ads. The red bars are cancels. And if we click on this, we get the full chart out here we can see. And all of these charts, as you can see, and most of the charts in this have rollovers. So you can see the specific numbers. You can get just a look of the general feel of it. For instance, we're looking for some out of things like this guy right here. Why were there so many more cancels at that time than someplace else? Something happened then. We can go and we can ask. So in this one, again, we're back to drill downs. Before we do our drill down though, you choose here the amount that you want by date group type thing here. You can say I want to see the last 12 months trailing, we call it, or the last 12 months from this month or last month or last quarter or last year. But we're going to stick with a 12-month trailing. If you choose one of these, it would automatically change these dates. Or if there's a specific period of time you want to look at, you can put a start and end date in here that you want to look at, and then you hit refresh, and there you are. You got it again. But we're going to look at this, and we're going to click on the red because that's what we're interested in. And in a moment, we're going to see here 2 pages of every cancellation that happened during that time. Okay, we can see whether they're full or partial cancellations. This, by the way, comes from the RMR tracking table, so you get your RMR reasons and such. But not only have we drilled down to get to this piece of information, but this is known as an analysis grid, which means from here we can go further. We can begin to put in formulas. Let's say we've got some kind of a percentage that we're looking at that we want to see, well, you know, this customer here canceled, so I'm going to, you know, I have to dock my guy 10%, my salesperson 10% for that. What's that amount going to be? I can add a calculated column, or I can take a look at the RMR that's currently in force in a given month, and I can say what would happen if I put a 10% raise on those people and create a calculated column. I can also filter it saying, I only want to see a particular item. I only want to see a particular range of customer numbers. I only want to see one customer. I only want to see a single branch, what have you. I can put filters on it. I can add a chart. By chart, they mean graph. I can add a graph that shows how this breaks out. For instance, let's say that I wanted to do it by branch, so I could see how much I had lost in this period by branch. I could add that graph to it. And then we can also do something called a crosstab filter, which we're not going to go into here because it's very, very advanced. But basically, the initial, the 12-month income, that was a crosstab. That was the ability to take a mass of data and say, okay, I want to see it by sums, but I want those sums to be separated by dates, things of that nature. So you could, for instance, do a crosstab here, day by day of this month, to see what happened, when, and where. At the top here, we have return to trending, which takes us back to that complex graph, or we can jump directly to the RMR or directly to the ads. So we can jump directly to the ad section here, and which is basically the same analysis chart, to where you can take a look at this. And then over here in the right, you will see we have export buttons to where you can export it to Excel or CSV or PDF. Those of you that have done exports from active reports to Excel and been less than satisfied, that's because active reports is designed to create a canvas and to make something very appealing. And so when it puts the data on there, it loses the fact that it's part of a cell, and it tries to split it out as best it can, but you end up with all kinds of headers and stuff. This, as you know, you can see, is not quite as fancy visually as active reports can be, but Everything's still in a grid. Everything's still in a cell. So when this report exports to Excel, it's a true, clean Excel spreadsheet. So that's another advantage this has, and kind of a disadvantage too, because it's not as pretty. So, but yeah, this exports to Excel better because it does it differently. Again, like I mentioned earlier, this is not a replacement for paper reports. This is not a replacement for active reports. This is in addition to give you more power. And of course, we can go back to the return to the full trending, and there we are. Okay, and when we're done with this, we just close that tab, and we're back to the dashboard. Now, we also have this guy. This guy doesn't have any drill down, but he's an interesting little thing. This updates itself every 5 minutes. Not all of the, like this guy doesn't update at all. He shows the data at the instant he opens it, because let's face it, we're looking over a year's worth of data. We don't need it to update every minute or every 5 minutes or every hour, or even every day for that matter. You know, when you open it there, you see it. This is as of that moment. This guy though, this is all of your service tickets, and we can see here, these are the tickets that we have scheduled, and these are the service tickets that are in progress. And those needles will move based on what the activity is. Every 5 minutes they update. So every 5 minutes you'll see those needles move back and forth, back and forth, back and forth through the day, so that you can see how your service department is doing. We have a couple of other gauge-based ones. This is a handy one for a, and again, this is another one without drill downs here, but this is one that's handy for your operations manager, because what he has here is, it needed to be a little bit longer, this is every job and every service ticket in what status they are, other than closed, even to the point where here's one that's resolved but not closed. Probably waiting for somebody to make an invoice on. But you can see in your jobs, in review, in progress, how many are in progress, etc. We get down here and we can say, oh, we have 105 jobs that have been reversed but not closed yet. I have a total of 208 open jobs. Okay, that will change. That will change. And so you can keep a pulse on exactly what's happening in your departments here or in here. Another graph that we have, and this one's going to look funny, but I'll explain it to you in just a moment. We're going to add a panel, and we are going to add job goals and progress, job sales goals and progress. And give it a second to pop up here. All right, this guy, basically you can set within the system, well, right now we set it for you, but we are working on an interface for that. You can set in here, this whole row is installs, this whole row is RMR, and this is how many installs in RMR you've sold this month, how many installs in RMRs you've sold in the last quarter, how many you've sold in the last year. And you can set goals for the, right now these goals are set for $1 each, so we've obviously surpassed that goal. But you can set them and set a different one for monthly, quarterly, annual, and these needles will show you how you're doing on those numbers. So if you say, in a 12-month period, I want to sell $100,000 in installs. So you would put a goal here of $100,000 up here, actually, because that's RMR down there. You could say, I want to sell additional RMR to $50,000, and you can do it, you know, by week. I want to do, in order to hit this $50,000, I want to sell $1,000 a week, and you would set that as the goal here, and say $3,000 a quarter, etc. So you set these goals, and you can see what your goals are here in the top line. All right. In the bottom number is where you're at with those goals. But what's interesting here is these needles, if let's say that we set it, instead of for $1, we had set this to be $1,000 or $2,000 in installs for a month. Okay. So $1,000 would be here at the halfway point, 0, and over here would be 2,000. So if that needle is in this range right here, it's going to be red. You have not reached halfway. Once it passes halfway, it becomes yellow. all the way through here. When you reach or exceed your goal, it will turn green. Okay, which is why all these are green, because my goal is $1. This number here shows you your actual amount, and this number up here your goal. So you can actually have meters that tell you your sales progress on your dashboard every morning when you open it up. Again, no drill down for this one. Sometimes you want the ability to see a particular report without necessarily having the dashboard piece on it. So we've actually created, add another panel here, we have actually created a report called Available Reports, or a panel called Available Reports, and it's just, I'm going to open here in a second. A list of the reports that you can have. Okay, so for instance, I don't want to see, I don't care to see my credits by credit reason in my dashboard, but it's something I want to look at every week or every couple weeks, so I can put this on here and I can say, show me credits by credit reason. Okay, here are the credits. You can see in this particular instance, it's a customer appeasement. Most of the credits I send out are to make customers happy. Also, and here's a few for billing errors, that's my number 2 one. As you can see, we not only can do bar charts and line charts, but we can also do pie charts. And this is where all of those things that you've been doing for ages with categories and branches and reason codes and all of this stuff that sometimes you wonder, are you people going insane? Now you can see what it's all used for. Metrics. You can tell exactly what's going on in your business through these. And so I can take a particular group here, appeasement, and this is all the credits by appeasement. Show the detail, please. Refresh. Oh, that's why. How about we go to the last month, this month? We don't. No entries have been made in my database since this month. Okay. Now when I click on this, now I get stuff. Okay, so we can see here are all the credits, and again, if I click on a particular one, I can see all the information for that credit, and I can investigate it. In the near future, if you use the credit approval system, you will actually have a line below here that shows who approved this credit for how much. Again, when you're done with the report, you close it. We are constantly creating and adding new panels and new reports. This is a vibrant, growing system to which we are adding content. We're making it more robust all of the time. And this list is going to grow, and the different panels that you can have on your dashboard, these things are all going to grow. The ability to tell whether we're on a computer or whether we are on a mobile device, these kinds of things. By the way, if you use the iPads for the field service units, you've already got a internet access, and you already have a browser, and you can give your techs that customer info panel. You can give them other things that they might need to know, and we can be contracted. Or if you got a good idea, give it to us, and if it's something we think everybody will use, we'll just build it. But if you have something that's unique and specific to you, we can be contracted to build that for you, because it's just adding another report to an existing system that we've already built. So that is Sedona Dashboard.